Commencement, the beginning of a new era in higher education by Kate Colbert and Joe Salustio with contributions by Elvin Freites is now available for pre-order on Amazon. Get your Kindle edition or your softbound book. It's going to be
amazing.
Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to EdUp on the EdUp Experience podcast, where we make education your business, and no, we'll never stop. We'll do it forever until we're dead in our graves. You'll get the EdUp experience, and hopefully you like it. Of course, if you do, you can pick up our book, Commencement, the Beginning of a New Era in Higher Education, out on pre-order for Amazon. By the time you listen to this episode, we'll have sold a few copies, hopefully, and hopefully you enjoy it. We're writing it in a way that I think is an easy read for anybody in higher education to get the insights of 100 plus college and university presidents we've had on this podcast. And we continue to roll on, ladies and gentlemen. We're booked out. We're booked out now till the end of March or beginning of April of 2023. Almost every single day, we've got a guest coming on to give you the most incredible insights around the world. Around the world. We've got guests from around the world. Hint, hint. And I've got one with me today. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to bring him now because he's got a lot to say. He's Dr. Sergio Mena. He's a rector at the Universidad Gabriela Mistral in Chile. Sergio, how are you?
Hello, Joe. Nice to meet you. First, I want to thank you for the opportunity to participate in an interview like this, because I can tell you about higher education in South America, specifically that we are doing in Chile and at Gabriela Mistral University.
Well,
welcome to tonight's program.
We welcome you. And we want you to tell us about your university. What do you do and how do you do it? You know I was going to ask that.
Well, our university, Gabriela Mistral, is the first non-traditional private university in Chile. This year, 2022, we are celebrating our 41st anniversary. Our purpose is that from now on, it's recognized again as the first university, but now for its development in the different field, for its conviction to decisively advance in education in programs for the future and online learning. I am convinced that the era we are living in will be remembered as the origin of the digital learning revolution. It will be remembered as the period in which implementation accelerated and the greatest change occurred. Our university is very small. Until before the pandemic, it had focused on very few disciplines in a traditional modality, the face-to-face modality. But since March 2020, which is the time when I took on the challenge of being the president of this university, we have advanced rapidly, and by 2022, we have multiplied the enrollment of new students at our university. We multiplied the enrollment by 10 in just 1 year.
Amazing.
Yes, it's amazing. 60% in online programs. This was possible due to interesting curriculum innovations that allow us to grant flexibility to our students. We have also implemented proctoring and gamification. We are implementing a pilot plan of virtual laboratories, and soon I want to experiment with augmented reality, virtual reality, and holograms. I want our students to experience extraordinary virtual learning experience. I have some example about this if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, a couple of examples. Our university is the first in Latin America to teach undergraduate course such as philosophy, history, or literature in 100% online mode. We are also the first to teach the psychology degree in all modalities, in the regular plan, blended, and 100% online modality.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We also have the first blended architecture degree, just to mention some of the features of our programs. Let me tell you some other example of our innovations. We are the first university in Chile to become a Microsoft training and certification center. We even included various certifications in the curriculum of our engineering programs. Wow.
Oh, I got the wow button. Keep going.
We can use this initiative as an example to progress with others, like AWS, Cisco, and ERP software, to mention a few. Our idea is to create an important center of technological academies with short-term technological courses. In my view, these courses or skill certifications included in our curriculum will be important for our students and for the general public because this course can be taken separately. Can I continue?
Yes. Wonderful.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we were also the
Wonderful.
first in Chile to upload 3 of our courses to Metaverse. I am not sure if this trend will become a commonplace in higher education, but we did it because we are constantly innovating. When we think about the future, we are thinking about a virtual place, a virtual platform, a virtual environment for our students. In this place, they can develop relationship with others in this kind of platform. Today, the technology to make this happen for our students is there. We simply need to consider the best way to use it. What do you think about it?
I think that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff that you have done. Congratulations on your growth, on growing.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
My goal is to stop being a relevant actor and become a benchmark for online education in the region. This is our purpose. It's maybe big for a little university like us, but it's our purpose.
Wow, I like that. Become a benchmark for other universities. I like that goal. So we've talked a lot about the pandemic in the United States and how universities have been affected by the pandemic. We have not talked a lot to global leaders, and specifically that you were in Chile and Latin America as a whole. How did the pandemic affect your university, and what have you learned from it?
With respect to your question, the pandemic impacted our region in a similar way to the rest of the world, and it accelerated the move towards online education. But today we are moving forward. One example of this, indeed, is the case of Chile. Let me tell you about higher education in Chile. Although we have a good percentage of coverage, approximately 60%. 60% of all students who finish school continue their studies in higher education, which is better than the average of the OECD. But good. Progress in online education is much lower, only 12% on the new enrollment in 2022 in Chile is online. This is in comparison with other countries, such as the United States, with more than 40%, or Colombia with more than 20%, or European countries where the percentage is above 30%. In any case, the growth in Chile is enormous because in 2019, the percentage of enrollment in online education was 6% from a total enrollment. Yes, the double in only two years. From the total enrollment, this is around 1.2 million students in Chile. In Latin America, for your information, the total enrollment is more than 20 million students.
Amazing.
The low percentage of online education in Chile is not due to a bad internet connection, because Chile has the highest percentage of the internet coverage in Latin America, around 89%, which is very similar to the United States. Rather, Chile is still going through a cultural change in which employers, students, families, and to some extent, even professors and academics need to embrace online education. The good news is that we are moving forward and fast. In the last 5 years, the online modality has grown by 293%. It's amazing.
Wow.
In this scenario, our university multiplied the total enrollment in the last 3 years by 3. Of course, this growth and development has not been free of problems and difficulties, but we have weathered them well, and today we look to the future with optimism.
Wow. That's pretty, those are pretty incredible statistics.
Yes.
89% internet access in the country of Chile.
Yes, it's the most high percentage in the region.
Wow. How do you think learner mindsets and university expectations have changed over the last 2 years? Do you feel that there's a disconnect now between learners' expectations and the higher ed institution?
There are countless things that we have changed during the last 2 years of the pandemic. Education and our students are no exception. Today, we are challenged to be more flexible and adapt to a new learning model, a model validated worldwide that will take advantage of the best of both worlds, the best of face-to-face learning and the best of online. The people who do not adapt will be left behind.
Commencement, the beginning of a new era in higher education, by Kate Colbert and Joe Salustio, with contributions by Elvin Freites, is now available for pre-order on Amazon. Get your Kindle edition or your softbound book. It's going to be
Amazing.
Yeah, you know, that is something we talk about here a lot on the EdUp experience. There's institutions who are going to get left behind because innovation, you have to innovate. You have to bring in technology. You have to explore. You have to fail and fail fast. And higher ed, looking at like a business, like a startup. How do you grow a startup? You invest and you try new things. But one of the things that's happening, I don't know how it is in Chile, in the United States, students are questioning the value of higher education. There is a lot of, and I ask this to a lot of guests, what's happening in Chile with students in Latin America? Do they value higher education? Do they question the value of higher education? What's the state of affairs for students in going to higher ed?
Well, for many Chileans and Latin Americans in general, a higher education represents an opportunity that their own parents never had.
Oh, yeah.
Many students, around 60%, are first-generating college students, and these represent not only the opportunity to have a certificate or degree, these represent the path to a better future for them and for their families, a better job, better salary, better and more opportunities. It's an excellent future for developing countries. And this vision represents the majority of this society. It's a general or average of the feeling of the impact of higher education in the Chilean context. But there is another side of the coin. In other hand, you can see frustrated families, disappointed families, because the real situation is different from the people's initial expectation. This is the opinion, not only in Chile for this topic, it's the answer in Latin America in general, and in the rest of the world. It's always possible to see the glass half full or the glass half empty. I prefer to always see the positive side of things. I am an optimism.
100%.
We like your optimism, Sergio. I think you have to be happy and optimistic about higher education, or else we wouldn't work in this business. But we believe that it has value, but we know that students take it in different ways. And we do know that students want to go to work, and they do want to work. Are students prepared well enough for the workforce in Chile and in Latin America as a whole?
Today, the challenge for universities is not only to adapt a new learning modality or to adapt their processes to a new generation of students. It's much more than that. It's about preparing students for jobs that do not yet exist in a modality that will possibly be remote and in which the type of work they do will require much more interdisciplinary work, collaboration, creativity, and adaptive mindset.
Yeah, you know what? Critical thinking. We have to think critically, and we have to think critically about technology and how it's implemented and affects our daily lives. And technology is moving so fast, and so you see the workforce adapting very quickly to technology too, and higher ed has to keep up with that technology adoption and preparation. So what do you, keeping students enrolled is a really important, we talk about retention on this podcast all the time. What do you do strategy-wise to improve your engagement or increase retention at your university?
Yeah. I prefer to talk about the engagement strategy because it depends on the commitment of the whole team across different areas such as academic staff, students' experience, public relationship affair, or research. In my view, there are two ways to see opportunities for growth. For example, in the case of research, it's always possible to find overlap between what the student is learning in their classes on the area of research of the PhD program. And imagine the academic experience for the student who participate in this. It's wonderful.
Oh, I got that one.
Okay, in the same line.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
You need to take over hitting the sound effects, Sergio. And
Okay.
Next time I'm going to give you the sound effects.
Okay, I made the sign. Yeah. In the same line, we have students who are sensitive to the needs of others. And these students prefer to participate in activities with a social impact in their communities. On the other hand, it's possible to use technology for monitoring the behavior of students in the platforms to see how many times they watch the videos, participated in online activities, or had an interaction with different kind of digital resources. These actions are registered and create data to analyze and predict any possible dropout. These ideas are part of the challenge to create an extraordinary experience for our students.
Attention.
I love when you talk about predictive analytics and data. We do know that our ability to look at student trends and their characteristics helps us better predict whether a student is going to stay in school or drop out. What role does data play in the future of education?
Data is beginning to play a fundamental role in the education of the future. The personalization of learning, as well as the improvement of different educational paths, depend on the data that our students are generating at this time. What are the most valued learning resources, or what concepts require more time to learn? These are questions that today have answers, thanks to the data.
Yeah. We love data. We love data. We love data-driven decision making. And in Chile, let me ask you a question, Sergio, that has more to do with students and their ages. Are you seeing more traditional age students, 18, 19, 20, or more adult students coming back for higher education?
Today, 80% it's in education, the regular plan for young people, but over the last 20 years, the rate growth of working adult, it's more than over our history. Because the workplace, the workforce, it's an extremely competitive. And the people and the institution, the university work in provide programs for them.
Yeah, everybody wants to get out and make money. Sergio, when are you bringing me to Chile to record live at the Universidad Gabriela Mistral?
Sorry.
When are you going to bring me to Chile to record with you? You're going to fly me to Chile?
Yes, of course. It's a wonderful place. It's a country wonderful. The south of Chile, the coast, the mountain. In general, it's a magic place. You need to visit.
I would love to. What do you, Sergio? Thank you so much for your time today. And you've got, anytime we can get a leader from a global context on the podcast outside the United States. It helps us better understand what's happening in the global context of higher education. What do you see is the future of higher education in Chile, Latin America, and as a whole?
We'll agree that we are in the stage of the greatest transformation that the world of work has experienced in recent history. Also, that university must prepare their students for these jobs, and therefore we must all adapt. But we can be naive and think that everything around us be transformed. At least I don't think so. In 25 years, we will still have coffee and buttered toast in the morning. Someone will design our clothes or take care of our health. Therefore, to some extent, the future will depend on the level of development of each country and the structure of the local economy. It's a complicated question, not easy to answer. And to try to answer it, it's necessary to divide this question in two parts. For example, the time frame, the perspective of curriculum, or the learning experience, or future workforce. From the perspective of the curriculum, in the future, the flexibility will be most important element to building different paths for acquiring new skills. And this flexibility will provide the possibility of moving between different modalities and obtain micro-certification in a personalized way. From the perspective of the student learning experience, today is tomorrow. Or our students are already demanding more technological solutions, platforms, and different kinds of interactive tools in their own learning process, such as virtual reality, augmented reality, metaverse, and other new trends. From the perspective of globalization and interaction, in the future, the student and professor from different countries will build in strong relationship using different technological tools in their communications, such as video conference, voice messages, etc. And this will be new standard of relationship with people from around the world. Finally, from the perspective of soft skill and hard skill, thanks to the development of technological advances, in my view, in the future, the soft skill will gain more ground in comparison with the hard skill, and hard skill will be focuses on technical and specific abilities.
Level up.
Of course, the job will be different. For this reason, it's necessary to develop our student capacity for reskilling and upskilling. It's important to say our university will not be 100% online. We also have traditional face-to-face programs such as law, psychology, or business administration, but it is indisputable that future growth in South America will be in this new modality, hybrid or online modalities.
Yeah!
Wow. Sergio, you are a man on a mission. You're a man on a mission, my friend. I want to tell you how honored I am that you came on the podcast today. You know, I'm a big fan. I love your work. I've been following you on LinkedIn. I encourage everybody to go to LinkedIn and find you on LinkedIn, Sergio Mena. He's there, and he is a leader, ladies and gentlemen. And we wish you all the best, Sergio. You were amazing.
Likewise. Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much. It was an excellent experience. I would love to have another opportunity to have a follow-up conversation.
Oh, I would love to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman is...
Amazing. Amazing.
You are, Sergio, and I got to outro you, the rector of Universidad Gabriela Mistral in Chile. Thank you for coming on, Sergio.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've just EdUp'd. Commencement, the beginning of a new era in higher education, by Kate Colbert and Joe Salustio, with contributions by Elvin Freites, is now available for pre-order on Amazon. Get your Kindle edition or your softbound book It's going to be
Amazing.